Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here with a special guest.
Helga.
It's Helga from Helga's Farm.
Straight from my phone.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. It is Tuesday. It's the Tuesday show. If you guys are watching, hit a thumbs up, like, share, all the things. Also, if you're listening on the audio platforms, which are like Spotify, SiriusXM, iHeart, Apple Podcast, what are other platforms for podcasts? All of them. We're on all of them. Sharon went around one day and made sure we were on every last podcast known to man. You can go to linktree.com/withbeanz and find them, but leave a review. Let us see who's in the chat today. We've got Sharon Smith, Captain Johnny's here, Amber's here, Will is here. Hi, Will. CJP is back, so of course the baseball banter is happening. Who else? Oh, Mike on Island is here. Good day to you too. Who else do we have? Let me get on Twitter here or X here and pin this noise. I brought my special guest on today for what would be a somewhat sentimental reason.
Very sentimental.
Many of you may remember, how many years ago? 8?
6.
6 years?
6 or 7.
6 or 7 years ago, we were fleeing a storm and ended up in a random condo.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Viviana over here, my little Viviana, who's not so little anymore, picked up the computer and did a skit where she pretended to be Helga from Russia, who was a huge Donald Trump supporter. And unfortunately, that has been lost to...
Helga, yeah.
It's gone because X canceled me. Twitter canceled me. But many of you have known this for years.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're up to.
I'm moving out.
Speak up.
I'm moving out.
Why are you moving out?
To Florida to, number 1, further my career, and number 2, be near my boyfriend.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19.
College?
No.
Why?
Because it's a scam. And a lie.
Oh, I taught you so well. What I wanted to do today, because I have tried, at least once I realized, how
Dibs on her room.
Adam, you frick. Adam wants Viv's room. How tall? She's littler than I am.
I'm 5 foot.
She's 5 foot tall. She's a little one. A little peanut. But basically, I want you to explain, because I've tried to empower you to
yes.
know that anything in the world is possible, no matter what it is, and to always do what you feel most passionate about and what brings you joy. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have embraced that.
Definitely.
Can you explain what happened with this move and how it came about so freaking quickly?
Well, so I've been talking about this for a while now, the idea of it. And then I went to Florida for about a week, I think, last month. And I was just I don't know, I really want this sooner. Because I was, already talking about it. And then things at work weren't working out where I was. And then I just wanted a new start. I wanted new friends. I wanted a new workplace. I also wanted to be closer to my boyfriend, obviously. And so then after that, I was like, let's look for apartments. Let's see. Found an apartment in a great area. And then...
explain this apartment.
Oof. It's literally a retirement apartment. So, people that are retired go there. And it's, fenced in and, nobody's getting in there if they're not supposed to be in there. Let me tell you that.
It's gated.
It's gated and,
Explain the actual apartment, though. We haven't seen it in person, but we've seen video.
It's, very cozy, very nice. It's not fully furnished, but it does have a few pieces of furniture that I'll need. It overlooks, brand new everything. And also in my room where my window is, I get to see the sunset every night.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody how much your little ambitious brain was able to find this apartment for
$1,195 a month.
So then what happened, Helga?
So then I went to work and I was like, hey, I want to transfer. And they were like, okay. And then it basically happened overnight. And then I got the apartment. And then I got literally everything else to work out that I needed to work out. And it all fell in my hands.
How easy was it?
Very easy. Almost too easy.
And so now all of a sudden, you're leaving Thursday.
Instead of in
May?
June or August, it was originally.
Oh yeah, originally it was August.
Originally August, and then it was May, and then now it's 2 days from now.
And so what are you going to accomplish down there? Like, you're setting out with a goal.
Yeah, so I work in coffee. I'm a barista, and within my company, there's a lot of room to be a business owner, actually, and own your own business with our brand. So that's my main thing that I want to do is like I want to work my way up, but also sort of fixing some of the areas where they need help. So
she has taken this. How much do you love your job?
Oh, more than anything in the world.
And it pays good money.
Yeah, amazing money.
Really good money.
Amazing money, yeah.
Like, she's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And she's 19 years old.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there who thinks that 19-year-olds can't get their shit together and can't handle their own business and don't know what to do with themselves and don't have dreams and aspirations and
think we're lazy and think we don't want to work for things and all that stuff, because that's a really big thing that the older generations think. They think we're lazy and blah, blah, when in actuality, we just want the respect that we give you as a customer.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second before the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I even have a hard time wrapping my brain around is like, you will go into a job and say, these are the days I'm willing to work.
Well, okay, not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. When I was in high school, they would I would walk into a job and they'd be like, what days can you work? And they would let you make your own schedule. Now it's a little different. Like, obviously I'm not in school or anything, so I have open availability where it's like not like, hey, I am busy this day, so I just work whenever.
And it doesn't bother you.
No.
And you're with the public most of the day.
I love it. It's my favorite part of every day.
See, she's doing something she loves. It makes her feel excited. It gives her a sense of purpose. It makes her think about what, the future might bring. Mm-hmm. She's going to be completely supporting herself at 19 years old, living in her own apartment. I just want to make this clear. She's moving down there by herself. She's not moving in with anybody.
Don't have a roommate. No one's staying with me. It's my own apartment.
And what's your 5-year plan? Or do you even have a 5-year plan?
See, I used to believe in 5-year plans until life actually hit me in the face. So now I just go where the wind blows and where the universe wants me to be.
I love it. It's so beautiful. I wish that I could have done that when I was your age.
Just let go. Just let go. Everything work the way it's supposed to. Like, if this wasn't supposed to work for me, it wouldn't have fell into my hands like that.
Yeah. If it wasn't supposed to happen, it would have been hard, and you would have had to force an effort through it and push through it and make it happen. And would you have done it then?
Not if I really, really had to push. Like, if it was like a really, really, really hard thing to do. If there were some bumps, yeah, because bumps happen. But if it was like, if the universe was screaming to me no, I would listen.
Yeah.
So.
You'd follow what?
My gut. I saw Viv's identical twin at Yankee Candle this weekend.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
Jamie in the chat says that she saw Viv's twin at Yankee Candle. That's great.
I have a 5-year plan, don't die.
Who was that?
Adam,
what are you doing?
Adam, how about you buy some new shoes in the next 5 years?
He already did. They're actually not bad. Next time, take a picture, Jamie, please. Yes. So you this year, since graduation, where you were like, when you graduated high school, what were you thinking?
Oh my God. I was in a completely different mind space. I was like, I don't know how things are going to work out for me. Like, I literally have no idea where I'm going from here. I have no plan or anything like that. And then literally once again, it all fell into my hands.
Well, what did I tell you when you were all worried about?
It'll work the way it's supposed to.
Not to stress it out.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because life usually does. So now, she's gone now.
She's gone.
Now, this will never happen again until she comes to visit, which is probably never because...
Oh my gosh. Don't listen to her. Gosh.
So then when everybody's wondering next Monday and Tuesday why I'm not here, it's because...
She's with me?
Yeah, I'm helping her. I wanna make, like, look, she was gonna move down there with nothing, like no furniture.
I was gonna sleep on the floor.
And then I had to be like, okay,
let's load.
We also gave her a little bit of kitchen etiquette because that's a worry for me. Like sometimes crazy things happen with her in the kitchen.
Yeah, so the other day I heated up the oven and there was a pan in there and I didn't realize it and it started smoking, so I threw it outside in the cold.
She put it out on the patio.
And then my dad found it.
The next day.
I was like, why is there a pan on the patio?
Also, what was the other thing that you did that one day that I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I also showed her why you do not throw water on a grease fire.
She said, you do that, you're done. You're done. And the apartment is too. I was like, okay. Jeez, okay.
Adam says, if only the technology existed that would allow Viv to join the podcast from Florida.
God. That's the first time I've ever laughed at one of his jokes.
What are you going to do when the extravaganza, Adam, Viv's not there?
Not cry as much as he usually does.
But she's going to put in the hours, and I suspect by the time she's like 2021, she'll be owning one of her own coffee houses. Yes. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she's doing. So everybody who's been with little Helga since she's 9 years old, that's how old you were.
Yeah.
She's now flying the coop.
Flying
the coop.
Fluing.
And I will probably talk to her more now.
True.
Than I did when she was here. And then next it's William. And then, I don't know. Listen, when you get to be like, I don't feel like I'm old.
You're not old.
I don't think I am.
I may joke around with you and say you're old, but you're not old.
And like of my age and my norm, I'm pretty cool for
Yeah.
Like I'm not like a complete and total loser.
No, not really.
For my age. But I don't feel like I'm old enough for you to not be living with me anymore. It's like you think it's hard for you. It's like a mind F for me. And I haven't.
I can only imagine like growing up and raising this little human being and then you watch them sprout into a big flower and leave the nest.
I'm so excited for you that I can barely contain it. Like I really truly am excited. Like I'm excited to come down there with you and help you get all your stuff and move in and decorate and like I know you're going to be great and I have no worries about that and I know that like you're going to do the right thing and all that. Mm-hmm. And I'm at the same time like I don't even know what the other like I'm welling up. I haven't really processed anything yet.
I don't think I fully have either. I think it's happened so fast and like so quickly and that like my main thing is like I want this so bad, like I want this and that kind of like shadows any like sadness or emotion towards the subject, but I do find myself like sitting in silence and then realizing like, oh my gosh.
Making me
like
cry.
Today. Yeah, like today I had my last shift with all my people at work and it was weird. It was like, I don't believe that this is like the last drink I'll make here or like the last customer I'll talk to here. It was so weird.
This is why I tell everybody, like, I have committed to memory every random ass song session you've had in your room and said, remember this.
Because you won't hear.
Yeah. So sad. Okay, enough. All right. I'll be fine. This is what happens. Moms know. Moms know. But I don't feel like I'm old enough for this. I think I'm being thrust into something that I'm woefully unprepared for. Look, Dad is yelling at me. Tracy, stop crying on the podcast.
No cry lashes.
Gigi says, I didn't process leaving my daughter when moving to Florida until I drove away in the moving truck. I know, it's so weird. Like, Will has to drive the truck down to Florida by himself.
60 miles per hour the whole time.
Oh, Lord. Anyway. Okay. Well, I wanted you to come on and just give the people their life achievement of yours.
Yes.
And I'm excited for you, and I'm sure everybody out there is too.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You want to watch the cute kid?
Sure.
All right.
Let's watch the cute kid.
We're going to watch a cute kid.
Yay.
I have this pile up first I was going to show, but why do that? Why do that? Here we go. Everybody watch this.
Dad, can I have some ice cream?
No, buddy, it's almost time for bed.
Don't let this happen to you. I'm gonna teach you how to get what you want from your parents. Let's do that again. Dad, I really missed you today. Can we share a bowl of ice cream and talk about our day?
Sure, buddy.
Yes. You gotta figure out what's important to your parents. For Dad, it's quality time. And for Mom, it's something else. Mom, can I play my video game?
Honey, you already played your video game today.
Let's do that again. Mama, can I do that for you so you can take a nap? That is so sweet of you. Yes, thank you, honey. Thank you. I love you. And when I'm done, I'll gladly play my video game. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. You gotta figure it out yourself. Got it? Got it. Go get it. Hey, Dad, wanna play with fire?
What?
Beginners.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's all I got. You're free to go, friend.
Bye, friends.
Off she goes to be an adult. Off she goes. You can take that
Take my
chair.
chair.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Adam.
Bye, Viv.
Bye, Sharon. Bye, Dad.
Bye, Viv.
Bye, Mom. Bye.
I love you. Ah, Lord. Off she goes to conquer the world. So if I am a little off, or if you're like, what the hell is going on? Why is she so sentimental? Or why is she so pissy today? Or like, why does she seem so short? That's why. Because I'm processing through this. I don't understand it. Anyway, on to the news. What do we got? 2:19. I'm going to do this as quickly as possible so I can throw the chat link out there for all you guys who want to join in and have a conversation. I actually might do that now just to get you all ready. Hold on. Just to get you ready for what is to come. Here we go. If you want to join the show today, click on that Zoom link. I will accept people without their camera on, but I would really rather you had your camera on because we like to have good conversations with video. All right. So, one thing that has been annoying me a little bit is this Anna Paulina Luna transparency committee. The way she introduced it in the beginning, it was wildly confusing. It was, they were going to basically shepherd and herald these documents and then release them to the public as they were doing a commission or an investigations, or at least that's how it came off. People started losing their minds because truthfully, like, we're finished with that. Just dump the JFK files, dump the Epstein files, dump the Epstein files and dump the alien stuff and let us go through it. And we are smart enough, and we don't need your committee. We don't need your committee. We can do it ourselves. And then she was like randomly quote tweeting like random Twitter accounts that were trying to explain it. And then she was like yelling at people that weren't understanding what she was trying to say. And then finally she came out and said, okay, the documents will be coming out first. And then, and you will be able to read them while we do this investigative committee. And like, she's just using this committee. It's just stupid. Like, we don't need a committee. We don't need it. We're not stupid. We don't need you to drive a narrative. Just dump the documents. Let us poke through them as mature individuals. Now they're going down to Dallas to interview people from the Warren Commission that are in the like 80s and 90s from the JFK assassination. Like, she's yelling at Pam Bondi over social media. Listen, I just feel like we're in a different place now where we don't need Congress to do investigations of things to tell us what's in them. Like, we don't need the Fox News hits. You never do anything with the committee other than potentially file friend of the court briefs. Like, we never get any real accountability. There's never any legislation passed from a committee investigation. Nothing ever comes of them. It's for like hearings where people can showboat, and then the people that testify are gatekept, and you bring in supposed experts that are actually just stealing other people's work. We don't need a committee to read. We can do it. If you release all of the documents, we can read them all. We found a white flag in the middle of like Timbuktu somewhere using coordinates from like, we don't need you to tell us what's in this stuff or to ask people questions. So that's my thought on it. I'll keep in touch with it and let you know what's going on. Or better yet, you can just read it for yourself because you're not morons. The people who are upset about Doge are losing their minds. Listen to this one.
I promised myself I would avoid the news. But obviously I haven't. Here's my one thought. I mean, I have many thoughts. Elon Musk, like, we need to X him. And by X, I mean formerly known as assassination. I know someone from FBI is gonna fucking show up. I don't. Arrest me. You don't have enough people to even investigate me at this point. I haven't filed my taxes in like 8 years. And yet, no one's covered me. So, I'm gonna fucking say it. Let's assassinate some motherfuckers.
She's clearly inebriated. Like, this is the mental health crisis I'm talking about. She's clearly inebriated. And she's in trouble now because Ed Martin from the U.S. Attorney Office in D.C. is investigating her. Which, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't get away with not filing my taxes for 8 years. I don't know why she can. Something in my eye. Probably from the cry lashes. I have a question. If you're going to call in today and use the Zoom link that's pinned to the top and grow a set and join me, when you come in, if you have children, I need you to come in with a few sayings that you say that are like things that your kids said that you just adopted into your everyday lexicon. Like, for example, cry lashes. That's how we say crying in my family, because one day we were driving home in the car, and little William, when he was a little baby, said, "I have cry lashes," because he was crying. So now we all say cry lashes in my family. We don't say crying anymore. It's always cry lashes. No cry lashes. So come in with one of those. Everybody's got them. I have like 20,000 of them. Sometimes Will and I will be in public speaking to each other in our language, forgetting we're in public. Occasionally, I'll text people from work situations using the language that I use in my home, which is a different language than English. It's kiddism. So we've just adopted them into our everyday speech since when my kids were very little. And I think a lot of people do that, or at least I hope they do. But this mental illness thing, going back to what we were talking about, has trickled. It's everywhere. So the after effects of like the government change with the transgenderism in the military and the DEI and all of it is now kind of all the garbage is going to rise to the surface and be cleaned out, right? So this is the doctor from Texas who exposed that the Texas Children's Hospital was still performing surgeries on minors that they shouldn't have been, and he exposed that. And then the Biden Justice Department went after him on federal charges, and that was just finally he's free of it. But Catherine Herridge has him, and look at what they did here.
What was the darkest moment?
The happiest moment of my life was the birth of my 4-month-old daughter, but it was also the scariest. And I ended up having to have an emergency C-section. Aton had to leave the hospital room where I was with our daughter an hour after I had surgery to go to Houston for a court hearing. And at that point, we had no idea what was going to happen.
Did you have a moment when you feared for Andrea and your daughter?
Yeah, especially because whenever giving birth, if something happens, if there's any complications, it happens after. If something happened, I wouldn't be there. And that's awful.
Did you feel that you had let your wife down?
Yeah. And I knew that she understood that, it's something I had to do, right? Like,
I can see you choking up about it.
Yeah. Because if I did, these people are going to send me to prison.
Just take a minute.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the happiest day of your life when you bring a child into the world.
Yeah. But then, especially to have my baby born, to go to trial the next day and just see these people lie, right? And just see the judge accept it. What kind of country is this, right? What kind of country are we delivering our kids into?
A new one. We're delivering our children into a new country. And I have sat and listened to court hearings where everybody in the room knew that the government was blatantly lying about what they were talking about. And the judge would just sit there and take it. And I have had experiences in a courtroom where the judge in a case has heard the government blatantly lying and said you're full of crap. And the only hope we have is that more of those judges step up and the other ones are removed, which is something that Congress has to do. But on that same vein, this story from Chris Rufo yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw this. Chris Rufo, Hannah Grossman and I have obtained logs from the NSA's secret transgender sex chat room, in which NSA, CIA, and DIA employees discuss genital castration, artificial vaginas, piss fetishes, sex polycules, and gangbangs on the government dime. So you are paying for intelligence agents to discuss their sexual proclivities and fetishes in a government-run intelligence system chat program while they're supposed to be working. And I've committed to reading some of this for you so that you can see what we're really dealing with here. In our intelligence community, they will kick out Steve Friend and Garrett O'Boyle and Kyle Seraphin for not wanting to take the COVID shot, standing up for our First Amendment rights and our constitutional rights in reckless raids and other things. And then go after them as in a retaliatory manner for being whistleblowers. But this is fine. What I'm about to read to you is fine. If you have children in the room, bring them away. Move them away. Lower the volume. Here we go. The NSA maintains a chat system for the intelligence community called IntelLink. The servers are supposed to be used for government work, but gender activist has hijacked at least 2 channels, LBTQA and IC Pride TWG, to discuss fetishes, kink, and sex, all legitimized as DEI. Literally destructive. Just destructive and has nothing to do. What are they doing all day? Talk about being safe. These trans employees discuss hair removal, estrogen treatments, and breast implants. One of them saying, quote, "Getting my butthole zapped by a laser was shocking." One popular chat topic was male to female transgender surgery, which involves surgically removing the penis and turning it into an artificial vagina. These male intelligence agents love the feeling of penetration and peeing with their pseudo-vaginas. This is what Chris writes. This is what they're discussing on your tax dollars. Right on your tax dollars. They say one NSA official claims to use its pronouns, meaning that this person does not identify as a human, but rather feels like a sexless, genderless thing. Other Intel employees defend the usage of itself pronouns, claiming that not using them amounts to trans erasure. Intel employees used the chat room to discuss ethical non-monogamy or polyamory. Many claim to be part of sprawling sexual networks and have a rich slang vocabulary about their sex lives. Some of our friends, quote, are practically polymers with all of the connected compounds. I just want to say, I truly don't care if you're do whatever you want to do on your own dime, by yourself. I don't care about any of it. I like, if you're an adult, whatever. Whatever. That's not what I'm talking about here. How dangerous is this from an intelligence perspective to have these people, probably many of whom high-level security clearances, running around with all of these nation's secrets, splouting this stuff out to everybody in this room, and then what are foreign adversaries going to do with that? Intel employees used the chat room to discuss ethical non-monogamy or polyamory. Many claim to be part... Oh, I read that already. You'd never know. I read it already because it's that crazy. Then, today, in a secret NSA chat room, NSA, DNI, and Spacecom officials claim that Tulsi Gabbard is fervently anti-queer, a Russian agent, and a member of the MAGA, quote, cult. These employees, including at least one they/them, are attempting to undermine Gabbard from within. This is the best part of this for me, is the fact that people are bringing this forward and saying enough is enough already. We've got to root out all these people. And I can guarantee you right now, there's more than a few of them that are freaking out. Another one. American Intel officials are rallying opposition to President Trump's cabinet nominees in secret NGA chat rooms, with one Spacecom officer hoping for senators to come to their senses on RFK Jr. and not confirm him. Pronouns, they, them, z, they, she, her. I already got a vaccine, also a flu shot. I was worried about the continued availability of them under the current circumstances, given the status of the brain-wormed person that is potentially going to be in charge of healthcare, says the person who has no idea what sex they are at birth. Don't think vaccines are going anywhere, friend. Yeah, P3 and P4 will be at MagFest, and I'm ridiculously stressed. They are super cautious in monitoring local infection rates, hospital visits, wastewater presence, etc. And P4 seems pretty comfy. But there's so much RSV, norovirus, and other stuff circulating. Do you see how everything is fear-based? Literally everything is fear-based. These people are completely disconnected from the truth of who they are, and they're scared out of their minds, and hence the desperate attempt to grasp anything that will make them feel better, including injecting themselves with the poison. This is it. This is it right here. Wash your hands, mask up has been a reliable MagFest handling strat. If you go to the arcade, wash your hands again. Get rid of the persistent gamer scum that tends to coat things. Vaccines are effective cost-saving tools for insurers, so ones already on market will certainly be available and encouraged by them, though the funding hits and uncertainty at NIH and other places doing the bulk of the grants and research are not boding well. It was more that RFK is very vocally anti-vaccine, and there have been comments from POTUS in the recent past that he was A-okay with RFK doing whatever he wanted regarding vaccines. Given the current political climate, I figured better preemptively safe than sorry. I hope that the Republican senators will come to their senses on RFK and not confirm him, but the Hegseth confirmation didn't give me any hope. Bad news. This is our intel agencies talking amongst each other in private chats. More. NSA, DIA, and Navy intel officials blast libs of TikTok as a effing monster and argue that Ben Shapiro should be expelled from the tribe for constantly spouting hate speech. They also slur Italian Americans as terrible people. I'm not a terrible person. I'm nice. I just get mad when people appropriate my Italian, misappropriate my Italian. And more good news today. Twitter suspended libs of TikTok. And more. Recall, the entire legacy media demonized a Doge employee who used the screen name Big Balls as a teenager. Break out the lie detector while polling, and can balls jokes be funny is, of course, a 100-0 issue. Now use the lie detector to poll, is believing you aren't human a serious mental illness? And of course, it'll be 100-0. The legacy media is, of course, now going to reenact the Emperor's New Clothes by being perfectly wrong on both of these stories. And that leads into this.
The Oakmont Rec Center wants to trespass you from the location, okay? So
have they given an explanation for why?
This video obtained by 7 News after a public records request to Fairfax County takes place at the Oakmont Rec Center in Oakton on November 16th. Richard Cox, who now faces more than 20 charges in Arlington, including indecent liberties with a child under 15 and indecent exposure, was in Oakton using the women's locker room. Someone at the facility called police because the county had decided to ban Cox after finding out he was a sex offender. Cox argued about that.
My civil rights as a transgender person allows me to use a public facility, including the restrooms or changing rooms that identify with my gender. So them pulling up my information on the sex offender registry and using it to stop me from exercising my civil rights as a transgender person is a criminal misuse of the sex offender registry.
Although Cox said he's a transgender female, most court documents identify him as male, and women we've spoken with and read statements from in court records allege he would go into various women's locker rooms and expose his private parts, sometimes with kids around. A police report obtained by 7 News says one woman told police she saw him naked, then saw him still in the locker room naked 20 minutes later. The video indicates, per its policy, the Fairfax County Park Authority allowed Cox to use the women's locker room until
we recently found out he is a sex offender.
The county says its park authority started a process to ban Cox for that on November 15th, but on the 16th...
How is he able to check in if he's not allowed to be in it?
Cox was still allowed to scan in and walk down into the women's locker room. County police sound frustrated in a conversation with Sarah Baldwin, the Fairfax County Park Authority Deputy Director.
There's so much confusion in there that it's unreal.
Okay, that's why I'm here.
You all allowed them to come onto the property. He scanned like everybody else and was onto the property. He was never informed that he's been trespassed.
Right, that's what we're trying to do now.
Hold on.
I've been working with the police for the last 24 hours on this, and this was the plan.
Okay.
For him to come in and you trespass him.
By trespass him, Baldwin means ban him. She later joins police to tell Cox that.
And letting you know that you are banned from all rec centers in Fairfax County.
In part because Cox hadn't knowingly trespassed that day, police eventually said there was no evidence of a criminal violation.
So, because this woman here is too afraid and uses the improper pronouns, in my opinion, this pedophile is in women's locker rooms naked. And that's what this is. This is not, for a lot of people, this is why women get so upset about this. It's men like this preying on women with a mental issue and criminal behavior. And we had gotten to the point that this was acceptable because everybody was so scared. There's that fear again to say what the right thing to say was. So now, thankfully, now that's taken care of. And you're going to start to see this. You can tell she catches herself. She calls it she and then changes to he. And that's the state of things where we're at right now. Well, these knuckleheads.
Abusive of federal workers, and it is just plain wrong. And it's random.
It's abusive.
It's random.
It's abusive.
Yes,
to get an email?
I do think
It's
that.
abusive
I
to
think
get
the
a
way that
threatening
they
email.
are. Yeah, I
Why?
think the way that
Why?
they are treating them.
Why? How is this abusive?
Scott, have you
I
ever
saw-
gotten an email
I saw-
from someone that said, you
Yeah, I
better
would-
do this or else you're going to resign?
Yeah, it's
From
called
someone-
having the boss of the
someone
private
who's not
sector.
from someone who's not your boss?
The White House is every federal worker's boss. That's number one.
Elon
Number
Musk is
two,
not anybody's
But
boss.
number
He's
two,
not even a
Ask you
legal
a question,
department.
Scott, how is Elon going to evaluate? I mean, how is he going to evaluate the work of thousands of federal employees when he has no idea what
he's
they do?
not. The test was, are you even paying attention to your email? Are you even at your
some
terminal?
federal workers, he sent it on a weekend. Some federal workers do not have access to their emails on the weekends. They
Well,
just don't.
Did they go to work today? I mean, look, the amount of outrage, melting down, and sort of outpouring of emotion over this ought to tell you everything you need to know. We had a lady on CNN today, a supposed federal worker, who said she was infuriated by getting this email. She had time to go on CNN, but she didn't have time to send a 30-second email saying, well, here's what I was working on last week. This is what people in the private sector have come to hate about how they view the public sector. And I think there's a great many very dedicated public servants. But you said, it's about control. Yes, it's about control, and it's about finding out who is actually at their job working and who isn't, and do we need all these people?
This is what they're all up in arms about. An email asking people to reply with the 5 sentences. 5 sentences. Five sentences of what they did so that they can root out ghost workers who are accepting a paycheck on behalf of someone but don't actually work for the federal government. Everybody should be very angry about that. Right? I mean, it's about damn time. It has taken years and years. We've saved billions of dollars already, if not hundreds of billions of dollars, just from a basic surface level scratch of what's going on. And CNN can just whine about how the poor employees have to write an email. Oh, it's so stupid. We do have some good things going on in the health sector. I've got a video because that's what I've got now, a video. I'm still trying to get over my interview in the beginning of the show.
RFK Jr. prepares to dismiss vaccine advisors. It has begun. Well, it turns out that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is preparing to dismiss a number of vaccine advisors as he begins shaking up the Department of Health and Human Services. Kennedy plans to remove from advisory committees a number of individuals that he believes have conflicts of interest. Kennedy has been explicit in stating that the medical industry has undue influence over regulators and government policy. We will remove conflicts of interest from the committees and research partners wherever possible or balance them with other stakeholders.
In other words, like he said in his confirmation hearing when he was asked, we're going to fire everyone who's not doing their job or has a conflict of interest, which is exactly what they're doing. Here's the article. Kennedy and his allies have long targeted the ACIP as rife with conflicts of interest, though those on the panel and other public health experts have dismissed the criticism as misguided. The work groups apparently met according to schedule this month. Even though some of them or one of the meetings of this vaccine committee didn't happen, probably because of the shakeup The flu vaccine advertising campaign was pulled. I don't understand why it's the government's place to advertise vaccines to anyone. So I'm very glad we're not spending millions of dollars on that anymore. And we still have malfeasance because despite Trump's executive order banning the CDC WHO communication, CDC officials attended a WHO vaccine consultation without approval. The meeting focused on a 25-26 flu vaccine, a rollout, and CDC never announced its plans. Trump ordered a WHO withdrawal over its COVID failures and China ties, yet federal agencies keep ignoring him. There are so many bad apples we need to get out. So many bad apples we need to get out. And listen, this is your time, guys. I put the chat link in. This is your time to join me on the show. We've got 10 minutes, 11 minutes. If nobody comes in the next minute, I'm calling it a day. And I'm going to process the show and we're going to publish it everywhere. And then we're going to come back tomorrow and do it all over again. So the link is pinned to the Rumble chat if you would like to come and join the show. Otherwise, I'm going to put this on because it was insane. Watch this. This is in Texas. I think it was during the ice storm that was going on just recently. Here we go.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh dear God. Here comes that 12 shit. My car's gone. There goes my car. There goes 100.
Unbelievable. And I can tell you from experience, I got into a car accident. I was in the right lane. Tractor trailer came up in the middle lane. I was making a right turn. Tractor trailer decides to make a right turn from the middle lane because they're wide. Doesn't see me. Drags me underneath it. Gosh, 30, 40 feet, maybe a little bit more. Glass is cracking everywhere. The hood of the car is coming down on me. It is terrifying, even at the slow speed that he was making for a turn. So that is an absolutely terrible catastrophe in Texas. Ice on the road. Nobody can stop. People driving like they don't know how to drive in ice. It was very, very bad. Very, very bad. All right. Well, since all of you guys are chicken and won't come and talk to me about anything today, that's it for today, folks. Make sure you like and share the show. We will be live again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Go to uncoverdc.com to find links to the show there. You can also go to linktree.com/withbeanz. Make sure you support your sponsors, our sponsors that keep the show going. And we will be back tomorrow to see you again.